years ago, when I was a manager, Diane Tyler was an actress who came to LA from New York and was introduced to us, and she was a spectacular actress in terms of just the intensity of her work and a real New York kind of stage intensity about her work. And so we represented her, and some things were able to be made to happen, and eventually she decided she wanted to be back on stage more in New York, and she returned to New York. So, segue a quarter of a century, and last year we're doing a demo, and there's this woman at the demonstration. June? Is it June? Okay. There's this woman at this demonstration, and I feel like I know her, but I can never place where I know somebody from, because I've met people as a teacher and as a casting director, and then there's friends and relatives, and and I'm old, so I've met a lot of people. So I can't always figure out why I know somebody's face, and then they'll say, "I'm your cousin," and I'll go, "That's it." So I saw Diane's face, and I knew her, but I couldn't place it. And so after the demo was over, she said, "Hi, Diane Tyler," and I went, and so that 25 years disappeared, and I knew her. And then she came and took the workshop. And that was really fun, because we've obviously both come along 25 or 30 years, so it was just interesting to see that we're the same and just older. So Diane wrote this. She said, "Months ago you said," this is an email, "months ago that you said that you wanted to talk to me before I had new headshots taken, and I'm still wondering what you wanted to say. But before we have a chance to talk on the phone, I have to tell you, I've met with a couple of photographers, both of whom I went to for headshots years ago and had some success. But what I noticed is that it was a totally different experience for me meeting with them now. I didn't feel nervous, nor intimidated, nor afraid in any way to simply be myself. And I no longer feel like the act of getting headshots taken is akin to visiting the dentist. In part, I think it is due to the weight loss, a 28-pound drop also inspired and supported by the results of the class, and that I feel she's dropped 28 pounds, she's 30 pounds now since class. I know. And that I feel so much better about myself and what I have to offer. I feel more comfortable and self-assured in my own skin than I've felt in years. Check that out ever, than I have ever felt. And largely it has to do with the review of essences and neighborhoods as I approach things like getting photographs taken. I have to say that the major source for this transformation is because of you, my dear, your life-changing workshop and the ongoing interaction with my results and vocabulary since I finished. It is ironic that I've had to reach this advanced age of fill in the blank at your own risk in order to reach this place. But I'm eternally grateful for finally finding the direction and getting here at last. And I don't want you to wait till you are fill in the blank. Apply this stuff now. This comfort is available. It doesn't have to come with finally being so old that you give in. You can do this at any age by the employment of this vocabulary, the use of these things, that it doesn't just become the book sitting on the shelf. And I'm going to talk more about that tonight, but I urge you to do this. These are designed to have practical results. The visiting of them, the repetition of them, the use of them makes performance easier, it makes getting photographs easier, and for those of you who do dread getting headshots, and many people do, because there's so much staked on it, will it be right, and will they look right, and what do I wear, and what shots do I need, and all those questions that come from it that make it challenging. It should be easy, and it needs to be easy because we want the picture of a person at ease. We want the whole person to show up. So take Diane's advice, use these things in preparation for that stuff and other things. This has a deceptive nature, this class, in that it has sort of it's kind of one of those transformative sort of experiences. And so a lot of people get that out of it, and I love that. I love that it has that. But it also is meant to be day-to-day, practical, make more money, get better shots, have better representation relationships. It's meant to be practical too. So please let yourself have that result by just simply using it as the notebook and the follow-up exercises instruct you to do. Please do that. All right, that's Diane. One down. Now, I also want to remind you that we have previews here when we return from New York, and those are the ones you can send your local friends to, and we appreciate that because, again, our classes feel here primarily because of friends and colleagues that you send us, and we always appreciate that. And I want to talk particularly tonight for a moment about acting class because right at the moment I have I do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night. Some of you are in those classes. And it is right now, for some reason, the most eclectic, inspiring, whack-ball bunch of folks. I'm just having a great time in the acting classes. I look forward to it. It's better than it can be. And I really have a wonderful time in there. And I wanted to read another email that came from a fellow that some of you were in class with or know, who's an Australian actor who was sort of living in the U.S. named Damon Gamow, and some of you may have been in class with him or know him. And I sort of lost touch with Damon, and Jen was kind of in touch. He was going to come back to acting class, and then he seemed to have gone to Australia, and he wrote that he'd had some family, various things. But mostly what happened is he returned to Australia and made a movie that has, had a significant effect. It's a big movie in Australia. It's going to be coming here, and just won a big prize at the Toronto Film Festival, and he's won some acting awards. And it's about a real-life situation. He plays a real-life character. Anyway, this is what Damon wrote. Hi, Sam. Sorry for being out of contact, but I just wanted to say hello and... sorry. Sorry. I just wanted to say hello and share something with you. I have completed a film in this last year that was extremely special to me. It was filmed in East Timor and was based on the story of 5 Australian journalists that were killed there in 1975. The film has been an enormous success back home, and I was just in Toronto last week where it was received extremely well, and it's going to be opening in the U.S. soon. There is a very famous real speech in it that my character has to give directly to camera. He plays a journalist, and they recreate a very significant report this journalist did. I just wanted you to know that I drew on everything your acting class taught me, and it was no coincidence that this came up for me soon after your valuable lessons and has been such a boost to my career. I really hope you are well, that your classes are full, and you're getting great results. I will be in LA for a couple of weeks. I hope I can drop by and say hello. And then he gave the YouTube link, which I tried to figure out how to download so I could show you this little monologue, and I couldn't figure out how to get it so it would play on this particular screen, which doesn't accept the digital stuff from the... I just want all machines to work compatible. Why do they? But anyway, so I can't show it to you. But I'm happy to send anybody the link that wants to see it. But it really captures the thing that I most want to work on with everybody, and translates into what we're talking about tonight. Because it happens to be one of those things, right to camera, where there is no other person to deflect to. It isn't dialogue, there isn't action, there isn't special effects going on. It is the special effect of one human being's honest truth direct to camera in this kind of close-up. Plus, he's in kind of a stupid wig because it's a 1970 thing, so he's got to have hair that we all had back then. And it is meant to be a little weird and shaky like a news report because it was in the middle of a revolution in East Timor where the Timorans had asked the Australians to help a group of people that was getting massacred, and the Australians elected not to do it, and it became a big political issue because half the Australian public thought they should have helped defend their friends, and another contingent thought they shouldn't, and it became a very big political football. And these journalists who were murdered shortly after they transmitted these reports back to Australia, and it was very tragic, and it was a big deal in Australia and a big historical event. This movie is about that.